Hello again. I've completely redone my Arcane Weakauras, so a new video is pretty necessary as the old ones don't really look anything like the new version. When I made the first set, I hadn't really played much Arcane, so I didn't know exactly what was important and what wasn't. I'm still not great by any stretch of the imagination, because I just haven't really had a chance to play much Arcane because it's just been fire up until now, but I do have a better idea of where everything should go. So I'll start with the guts of it. You can see that I've added a mana bar in here for tracking your mana. Obviously, because as always, that's been a super important part of Arcane life. So that's there now. On the left are your Arcane charges. Made them vertical, change the scenery, and to also just fit in with the UI a bit better. You can see them building up there and disappear. The top row from here is Arcane Power. These are just like your pretty important cooldowns that you're going to be using on cooldown, basically. Um, Arcane Power is Arcane Power. I've added an animation to it so that when Arcane Power is active, it just looks a bit nicer and you can see the buff and how long it's got, which I'll show you. You can see there. Um, After that, it's Evocation. That's just Evocation. That's just a cooldown, as you can see. The next one, Mark of a Lunith. That's your artifact weapon ability. Obviously pretty important. Cast that, goes on cooldown. When it's off, you can use it, etc. And the last one on the row is, as always, Mirror Image, Incantus Combat. Hang on. Mirror Image, Incantus Flow, and Rune of Power. Incantus Flow lights up. Well, the color of it changes depending on your stacks. When it's at 1 stack, it's red, and when it's at 5 stacks, it's yellow. Same as all the other HUDs. And Rune of Power, I've also added the animation over the top of it so that when it's active on you, you can see it, which I'll show you. You can see that going there. When you get off it, you can't see it anymore. Get back on, shows you remaining time, etc. Now the second row here, below all those, is your talent row basically. So this is all your changeable, speccable talents. The first one is Nether Tempest, which when I cast Nether Tempest will pop in and it'll show you a debuff. That's just so you can track it. When you switch, it'll disappear, as you can see. It also flashes red for Pandemic, so that when it's about to run out, you know it's about to run out. So that button is also when you've got it spec'd, Unstable Magic, and Erosion. Um, the icon tracks Erosion, so that's a debuff on your target, which stacks up to 8. And then when you don't do damage, it starts going down again. You can see that going there. So that's good. The next icon after that one is Supernova charged up and Resonance. Resonance being a passive ability, you can see that it's dimmed out. Same with Quickening over there while it's not active. That's just placeholder, so you know what you expect. So it doesn't screw the UI up. After that is your Arcane Familiar, Presence of Mind, Words of Power. Now the Arcane Familiar one also tracks the status of your Arcane Familiar, so while it's not active you can see that it's greyed out, slightly transparent, and if I cast it you can see it pops in, so you know that that's active or not. The last icon is Overpowered, Arcane Orb, which is just your cooldown, and Quickening. And you might have, I don't know if you've been watching or not, but the Quickening also tracks the buff that you have on yourself. You can see there as I'm casting, Quickening's going up. Right, so that's the main part. Underneath, along the bottom, probably know it already, it's the Ice Flows charges. Shows you when a charge is on cooldown, and it also brings up a graphic when the buff is active on you, just so you know. Now, across the top, there's 2 little thin bars. It can be either 1 or 2 bars depending on whether you've got Shimmer talented or not. I do, so there's 2. Now, if I Shimmer, you can see there that one of them's cooling down, and same for the other one. It's a good way to track that. There's not much else. There's 2 other little things that I need to show you through the configuration, which, well, let me just fix that up. No, wrong one. That one. Cauterize, same as all the other HUDs. When you get killed, ganked, shanked, destroyed, whatever, you get your Cauterize buff active. That icon's there while it's active. And when it disappears, you get a little cooldown bar down the bottom, this orange bar going across here, which tells you how long you've got left until you can kill yourself again. Yay. Oh, one more icon, which I've just added today, is Touch of the Magi. This is an artifact trait, the golden trait here, which applies a debuff to the target and it accumulates damage, 20% of the damage you deal over 6 seconds and then explodes. This icon appears when that debuff's active, so that to pump more damage into that target, obviously, if there's stuff around that you can explode on. That's it for the Arcane HUD. There's a lot less to it. There seems to be sort of more icons and stuff, but it doesn't have any sort of extra stuff that you need to worry about other than the artifact Magi buff. There's two other little groups that I want to show you, which I did in my Frost video as well, but I'll show you here in case you haven't seen that video. There's a big icon group here which used to have things like Arcane Power and Combustion and Icy Veins and all that sort of stuff in it, but because I'm tracking that on the HUD now, it's basically just Ice Block, Invisibility, and Time Warp Bloodlust. Heroism attracts those. So they're pretty important, so you need to see when they're active. Now the big long group here with heaps of icons in it is a group that Tal and I have made called Buffs and Procs. That shows things like trinket buffs, potion buffs, and procs from enchantments and things like that, which is all Legion stuff, all up to Emerald Nightmare. We'll probably add Nighthold stuff when we get the data for it, so keep that updated when Nighthold comes out. That's pretty much it. They're all in the collection, so you can just go to the collection and get any of these groups. You can download all of them, or just the HUD, or whatever you want, really. If you have any questions or want to leave any comments, feel free to do so in the comments below on the video or on the Wego site. I keep an eye on that. I also hang out in the Mage Discord channel, which I've put a link to in the video description, so if you want to have a chat about anything, feel free. And I hope these help you guys out, and I hope they're not very confusing or anything. Thanks for watching the video. See you later.